No nonsense gin drinking. All gin, no nonsense.
Hello gin lovers, welcome back. I'm Bobby Freeman. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. We find ourselves now in a kind of a strange time of year. That's sort of trapped between Christmas and New Year. It's always a bit of an unusual time. So I thought to myself, maybe I'll do an unusual video because I've been gifted this set of gins, which I've never heard of before, but they sound absolutely bonkers. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Copper in the Clouds gin. And as you can see, there is quite an array here, and I thought it might be interesting just to run through them and have a bit of fun with you today. So strap yourselves in, my friends, hold tight, scream if you want to go faster as we blast through 5 Copper in the Clouds gin. Right then, we've got them all pre-poured, ready to go, so let's find out a little bit about them on the website, shall we? Copper in the Clouds are a small, tight-knit team working from a farm in Hertfordshire. From celebration spirits to woodland walks, each distillate tells its own tale. We spend all of our time dreaming up ideas and distilling spirits so you can make the tastiest drinks for you and your friends to enjoy. So here we go with what you would call their core gin, their central product. There's the equivalent to the Beefeater, the Sipsmiths, and dare I say it, a normal gin. And it's simply called Hertfordshire Dry Gin. And as you can see, it's got a very smart, debonair, suave looking stag with a monocle and a smoking jacket, sipping a cocktail in a bar. And we like that very much. So it's already in the glass. I'm going to have a bit of a sniff of it. Smells like what I would say a good gin should smell like. What's the little bit say on the back of the bottle? Here we go. A hearty juniper-led dry gin with lemon balm, lavender and angelica root grown in Hertfordshire. Well, I don't know if growing in Hertfordshire makes the angelica root any better, but let's imagine it does for this cause. So, tiny little bit of tonic in there just to release the flavours. I'll keep the tonic over there, I think, just to make everything neat. So here we go. Copper in the Clouds, Hertfordshire Dry Gin. I say cheers. Don't know why I said it in such a high voice, but that's the sort of thing that can happen on this show. Ooh, I tell you what. Oh, that was amazing. It had a little bit of aftertaste. Aftertaste usually sort of rushes in afterwards, but it was kind of like the aftertaste got to the point when it was about when it would usually rush in, when the rest of the aftertaste is rush in. He just rather like this relaxed stag on the front of it, just waited a couple more seconds and go, yes, I shall come in a moment. The rest of the flavours going, come on, aftertaste. This is getting a bit long, but stick with it. Come on, aftertaste, your turn. Yes, I shall be along shortly. Just going to finish off my cigar. Right, now I'll come in. Thanks for sticking with me on that one. That was one of my longer metaphors, but blimey, what a little adventure. Let me just experience it again for you. Oh, it reminds me of something. It reminds me of some gin. I cannot remember what though, but you've got all those core gin flavours going on, but there's something very different, something kind of earthy about it. Kind of a heavy flavour that just lollops down in your mouth like that. Oh, I just whacked my knee on the door handle. Instead of being quite light and mostly citrus-led, there is citrus in there, but there's this it's almost like a musky sort of flavour. What could that be? They talked about the lavender. I'm not getting much, maybe a tiny whiff, which we've said before is a smaller version of a waft. Tiny little whiff, a sprinkle of lavender, but there's something, as I say, almost malty in there, which rushes in after the other flavours. And I tell you what, that makes for a very, very interesting gin. Do I like it? Yeah, I do. I like the way it's very, very different, set apart, because there's so many what you call core gins now. There's absolutely hundreds of the damn things, thousands of the damn things probably. But that is a very, very unique one and something that I would say every gin connoisseur or just a gin lover or someone who likes gin should definitely try. Right then, number 2, and this one is just called Flower Bomb. As you can see there, Flower Bomb. And no, nothing particularly weird and wonderful about this packaging, just a load of flowers. So I guess this is oh, that bit's come off, I'm not sure what that's for. It just says Flower Bomb Gin, a super premium dry gin packed with floral botanicals. So it's already in the glass, as we say. Little tiny bit of tonic in the glass. I'm not sure what accent that was, it's probably offensive. So here we go, Copper in the Clouds, Flower Bomb, I say cheers. Oh, that travelled a long way to get to the mouth today, didn't it? Whoop, it's there. It's always best to swallow the gin rather than inhale it. Just a little tip there for you. I'll try that again, 1 second, hang on. Interesting, because that is a very, very light, fragrant, but unheavy in every way. It feels like the flavours go into your mouth and just go poof, and kind of just burst. Not much of a flower bomb, I'd say more a flower pop. It's like a load of sort of, I don't know, if you sort of ran your hand through a load of grass in a country meadow and all the seeds just went, the little like sort of fluffy seeds just go poof. It's kind of like that. Not massively floral, I'd say. In fact, to be honest, I thought this was going to be the heavier, sort of thick flavoured thing with sort of all those floral flavours. But actually, this was slightly thicker a flavour. This is a more light and sort of transparent gin. No, that's the wrong word. I can't think. Just tiny little pinpricks of kind of floralness and sort of. I can't really say anything else. It's just like it said. It's this florally gin, but not heavy and laden down. Very, very light and very airy, and a very good summery gin, I would say. Right then, next one is this little chap, and here's where things take a little turn for the rather bizarre, because this, my friends, is mango and black pepper gin. And as you can see, rather bizarrely here, it has a little tiger in a pair of glasses with a big black pepper thing, putting some black pepper on what looks like a waffle maybe, and serving it to a canary. And if any one of you can say to me you have witnessed such a scene before, then I call you a liar. But anyway, let's have a good... Oh, I didn't sniff the floral one, did I? Never mind, don't worry. I shall do an extra sniff with this one to make up for it. Hang on, here we go. Interesting. I was expecting a massive, great big punch up the nose of aroma, but unless I've caught coronavirus and I've lost my sense of smell, I can't really smell a lot in that one. So let's just crack straight on with the tasting, shall we? So a little bit of tonic in there, just a tiny bit, about that much I reckon. So here we go. Copper in the clouds. What was it again? Mango and black pepper, which, I mean, I have never... Who would imagine those two things go together? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Let's find out, my friends. Cheers! It was a very strange way of saying cheers today, wasn't it? Ooh! Do you know what? Again, I thought this was going to be a bizarre one. Me and my girlfriend my mum bought us a gin advent calendar last year, and there was a mango gin in that, and it was thick. It looked like curdled fruit, and it was absolutely disgusting, but there's no curdling and not even any colouring in there. And to be honest, I'm getting a very thin slither, a wafer thin sort of taste of mango in there. Very, very delicate. You've got more sort of the classic gin flavours in there with just a kind of a light echo of a fruity mangoiness. But then a great big wallop of pepper. Let me just... Oh, do you know what? I'm getting a little bit... That wafer thin bit of mango has just... Imagine it a few layers thicker, actually. Sometimes you have to acclimatise to gin when you try it. But again, I wasn't expecting to like that one. I was slightly nervous about this one because it just seems such an odd taste. But they could have easily gone overboard and just thumped these flavours in there. It would become big and heavy and kind of not even gin anymore. They've just used them very intelligently and sort of spiced up that pepperiness. Yeah, it's extremely unique. I've definitely never tasted anything like it, but I like the fact they've still kept it a gin rather than just sort of putting a big blanket over the ginness. So then, moving on to number 4, and this one again we have a rather bizarre scene, but this one is lychee and what is it? Lychee and raspberry gin, and we have a lovely little panda there carrying down a couple of bowls on his shoulders with one of those things. I don't know what it's called, which I presume these are lychees. It's got Chinese type buildings in there, and he's on a lovely walking down a cobbled street. So again, a very strange image. I'm not sure what these people were drinking when they came up with the graphic design, but I want some of it. So then let's have a little sniffeth of it, shall we? Here we go. Oh, now we're talking. Now we are talking. The old nostrils have been literally, well not literally, but metaphorically set alight. Ooh, it's just bursting with a kind of fruitiness. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know what a lychee is. Well, I've heard of a lychee, but I've never tried one. I'm not big on eating fruit, to be honest. But if they smell like that, I think I might have to give one a go, because it's, oh God, lychee and raspberry, wasn't it? Because the raspberry is coming through massively, really sort of fruity and sort of very much dominant there. So let's marry with a bit of tonic, shall we? Get in there, about that much I reckon. So here we go, copper in the clouds, lychee and raspberry. I say cheers in a very pretentious way. Oh, now then. Ooh, it lingers, it lingers, it lingers. I love when that happens. I love when I sort of make a decision and then a few minutes later just something else comes whack in and just, oh, that's wonderful. And to be honest, this is kind of one of those gins that just tastes exactly how it smells. There's bags of sort of juicy sort of, sometimes fruit is just sort of a light sort of sprinkle of the flavour, but sometimes you get an essence of the juiciness and the lusciousness of that fruit. And much like, oh yeah, the Broker's Pink gin there, which is a very, it tastes like literally biting into a big bunch of real strawberries. And this has got that in the same way with the raspberries, but there's something kind of unique behind it as well, and I guess that is the lychee. To me, it sounds weird, but I describe it as a purpley sort of flavour. Imagine purple as a flavour. If you can. You probably can't, but I can. It's kind of raspberry fruitiness like that, but with sort of surrounded with sort of an aura of purpley flavour. And that's, I'm pretty sure that's the most pretentious way I've ever described any gin on this show. Now then, I have saved this little chap for last because I think it's going to be my favourite, because everybody knows, all my regular viewers and subscribers will know, I am a sucker for an orange gin. And this one, my friends, is, what does it say? Oh yes, Marmalade gin. And I love a bit of Marmalade gin. I even had some Marmalade vodka by taste once, and it was just absolutely delightful. And again, we have another bizarre scene here. It is a rabbit with a pair of sunglasses who appears to be spreading marmalade on a ginger cat who is laid on a piece of toast. So I can honestly say I have never seen anything quite like it, but if it's a reflection of the gin, then I've run out of words. So a little sniff, shall we? Here we go. Ooh, wow. Do you know, as I said before, I do like orange gins, but I love the fact that every orange gin, and there is a lot of them out there, seems to be different. And this, smell-wise, has got a tang to it, a twist and a twizzle and a tang, a real thick, sort of concentrated tangy flavour that you genuinely get when you sniff a jar of marmalade. Now, to be fair, I don't make a habit of going around sniffing marmalade, but I have sort of, you know, taken the top off before, and you get that sort of, when you open it for the first time, there is a sort of a real tanginess about it, and they've captured that beautifully. So let's not mess around. I'm very, very excited to try this one. So, oh, might have drowned it slightly. I might have to top it up, but let's give it a go anyway. So, Copper in the Clouds Marmalade gin. Here we go. Cheers. Oh, holy, oh God, that was amazing. Each one of these is like a little adventure. There's so much going on. It's so multi-layered and sort of three-dimensional, even four-dimensional. There's even more dimensions if it's possible. And it was a bit strange because on the first tip, when it just sort of entered, it sort of graced itself over the threshold of my lips, to start with, there wasn't much going on. I could just taste fizz. But then again, it kind of employs the use of dramatic pause like they do in the theatre, darling. It just paused a little bit and then, well, enough for me to think, there's not much flavour here. Whoa! And then it just barrels through. But builds to the point, it sort of twizzles to the top and becomes really concentratedly sweet, but sweet in a kind of a natural way rather than this sort of manufactured, I know it's all manufactured, but you know what I mean, sort of artificial way. And I'll be absolutely honest with you, I've never experienced that with a gin before. It's a very, very different way of delivering the flavours, and I tell you what, I love that. That is something special. So gin lovers, you're thinking to yourself, that is a bizarre little collection of gins and Freeman has gone quite mad. And you'd be probably right on both counts, but you're also probably thinking to yourselves, how much are these going to cost me? Do I have to pay extra to get this sort of uniqueness and this sort of bizarre quality of gin? And the answer is not quite, because they are a smaller distillery, so you know my bracket goes up to £40 and they come in just under that, so I don't mind paying that at all. So to buy a bottle, a full-size bottle of these, you know, the 70cl, they hover around about just under the £40 mark, okay? So to give you an idea, that will be equivalent to €53.43. And yeah, it's at the top of my bracket, but as you can probably tell by the experience and the sheer journey and the adventure I went on in each of these bottles, I would say that is worth going to the top of the bracket. So guys, bit of a strange and rather unique video for you today, but hey, I'm a strange and unique guy, as many of you know. As I always say, if you did enjoy this video at all, then please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, press the little like button on the video and the bell icon so you get notified when I bring out a new video. And if you want to support the show, of course, please feel free to head over to my Patreon page as well, or click that join button below the video. But until next time, guys, you know the drill. Take care, stay safe. Thank you to all my patrons and keep drinking the gin.